You know, when a dealer with more than 30 years in the car business says your platform is the simplest it gets, you really have to pay attention. That's not just some nice feedback. That's a sign that you've built something truly revolutionary for your customers. So let's dive into that. This is the story of how design leadership didn't just survive a year of complete chaos, but actually used it to drive record-smashing growth. We're going to see how they became the architects of real, measurable impact. To really get it, we have to go back to 2025. And for the teams we're talking about, things were, well, they were shaky. It felt like the very ground beneath the organization was constantly moving. And it wasn't just one thing, right? It was a perfect storm. You had project ownership changing hands, key people out on medical leave, priorities shifting on a dime, and massive organizational changes happening all at once. It was the definition of an unstable environment. So that's the big question, isn't it? In the middle of all that turmoil, how on earth did two designers, Jake Masil and Chad Dunbar, manage to not just deliver what was asked, but actually push the business to record-breaking new heights? Well, the answer starts right here. Part 1 is all about how they became architects of clarity, how they looked at the chaos and decided to build systems to fight back. And here's the genius of their approach. Their first move wasn't about pixels or wireframes. It was about people. They knew you couldn't build a great product if the team was a mess, so they set out to design communication itself. And this is how they did it. Chad created this simple but powerful alignment system called Home. Think of it like a weekly heartbeat for the team. It gave everyone, especially leadership, a clear, predictable view of what was happening and why. It replaced confusion with consistency. And this is where their partnership just clicked. Jake became the hub for integrating ClearCar into the main Max platform, creating that one single source of truth that product and engineering could rely on. At the same time, Chad was taking all this complex research and translating it into crystal clear documents that developers could just pick up and run with. Together, they systematically eliminated confusion. Okay, so once they built that solid foundation internally, they could finally turn their full attention outward. Section 2 is all about how they took that newfound stability and used it to totally revolutionize the experience for their dealers. First off, what even is ClearCar? Well, it's a tool that tackles one of the oldest, most painful parts of buying a car, the trade-in. It uses real data to bring trust and transparency to that process, making it better for both the dealer and their customer. Through his incredible research on new car pricing, Jake figured out exactly what dealers, especially the big multi-store groups, actually needed. It wasn't just a number. They needed dead-on accuracy, transparent automation, ironclad compliance, and the ability to manage it all across their entire enterprise. This wasn't a guess. It was a blueprint for success. And the result of truly listening to your customers. A perfect score. The feature they designed scored a 5 out of 5 on dealer adoption sentiment. I mean, you can't do better than that. It's proof that when you build what people actually need, they'll love it. All right, on to Section 3. So they stabilized the team and they nailed the dealer experience. What's left? Building the future and building it a whole lot faster. And this is where they started thinking really big. They launched something called Project NTX, which was all about fundamentally changing how quickly the company could go from an idea to a live product, using AI to speed everything up. Now, to get why this is such a big deal, you have to see the before picture. It used to take anywhere from 20 to 45 days just to turn a design into code. Think about that. That's a month, or even more, of an idea just sitting there, not helping customers. And their new target with the AI workflow? 2 to 4 days. That's not just an improvement, that's a quantum leap. It completely changes the speed at which they can innovate and respond to dealer needs. And this wasn't some pet project. Leadership saw it for what it was, future-facing, principle-level innovation. This was work that was seen as critical to the company's entire long-term strategy. And now we get to the part that really matters, the bottom line. Let's see how all this incredible work on clarity, on the dealer experience, on innovation, actually translated into real dollars and cents growth. Just look at these numbers. Wholesale fees from the Max platform didn't just grow, they absolutely exploded from $19.5 million in 2024 to nearly $36 million in 2025. That's an 83% jump year over year. That is the definition of impact. And that growth was everywhere you looked. Cars sold through the service lane using their new workflows skyrocketed by 231%. Overall vehicles sold on Max, up 9%. The number of active dealers, up 3%. Every single key metric was climbing. And maybe the most telling number of all, dealers were staying, an 89% retention rate, up 2% from the year before. This proves they weren't just building something new, they were building something dealers couldn't imagine working without. When all was said and done, their contribution was impossible to ignore. The final takeaway from the leadership panel says it all. They were consistently operating above senior-level expectations and showing behaviors of top-tier leaders. They weren't just seen as designers anymore, they were seen as true drivers of the business. So, this whole story leaves us with one last powerful idea to chew on. It just shows what's possible when design leadership stops focusing only on shipping features and starts architecting the entire system for success, from the way we talk to each other to the way we innovate for tomorrow.